All right, well, let's get started. Welcome, everybody. This is the Coldwell Banker River Valley Realtors Career Webinar. And first of all, I just want to get started with our agenda for the evening. So here's what we've got on tap, what we're going to talk about. First of all, why real estate? Why do certain people get into real estate? Some people have good reasons, some not so good reasons. Attributes for success. What are some things that you should possess right now in order to be successful in real estate as a real estate agent? We're going to talk about a typical sales associate's week. A lot of people think we just drive around, show people property, and then show up, at the time of sale to collect a big commission check. And those are just a few of the many things that we do. Speaking of the commission check, we're going to talk about how we get compensated, how we get paid in our industry. This is something that either many people don't understand or at a minimum are kind of misinformed. So we'll want to make sure that we cover that. Also, income potential. What could you expect maybe in your first 6 months or 12 months or maybe even your first 2 years as a real estate agent? And then last, we'll talk about how you get licensed. Well, not last, but we'll talk about how you get licensed in your respective state, because I got some more here. What does a typical broker offer? Maybe you've taken the real estate course and the test you've passed. You need to choose a broker to affiliate with. What can you expect when you do so? Obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about our company, Coldwell Banker River Valley. It's a little bit of the price of admission for this evening. And again, at the end, given some time, we'll address any questions that anybody might have. So provided if anybody has any objection to that, then you can raise your hand. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and move forward. All right. So first of all, why real estate? Why do people get into this business? Well, number one, it's an opportunity to own your own business. This is a business that you can start without all the overhead that comes with a lot of businesses. For example, you don't need to have 6 months of operating costs in reserve. You don't have to have lease space. You don't have to have employees. You don't have to purchase a bunch of inventory to have in stock. Really, real estate is a very inexpensive way to get into business. Basically, for a little under $2,000, you've covered your startup costs and you're in the real estate business. Also, you get some independence with that. You set your own schedule. You can show up when you want to. You get to leave when you want to. A lot of people like that independence. Now, with that comes a lot of responsibility and certainly requires some self-discipline. But again, it's something that many people find attractive about our profession. Along those same lines as independence is the flexibility. Real estate is very popular with parents. For example, mothers want to meet their kids when they come home from school, or maybe volunteer or attend school functions. Same with fathers. The flexibility of owning your own business really provides that opportunity. Also, there's no income cap. I don't know if many of you have. I know I have in the past. Have worked in corporate America. Maybe around a salary plus a bonus or some incentive pay. But for the most part, that's about as much as you're going to make in a given year, and that's about it. This is not the case in real estate. You can make whatever you want to make. Some people get really excited about that, and they love that. For others, it scares the daylights out of them. In addition to that, you get compensated for your actual work. Here again, many of you may have had a job where you're working harder than everybody else, you're producing great results, but you're getting paid as everybody else in the office. Here in real estate, you get compensated directly for the effort that you put in. And for many people, this is very exciting and rewarding. And one last point, you never read in the newspaper, ABC Realty lays off 200 agents. It never happens. There really is no downsizing in real estate. You control your own destiny. If you're good and you work hard, you're honest and skillful, you'll always have work. You'll always be employed. So actually the security in real estate can be fantastic, especially if you're good at what you do. Okay, so what are some attributes for success that maybe you should look for or possess in order to be successful in this business? Well, first of all, you've got to be self-motivated, and that should seem relatively obvious. If you think about what we just talked about, why people get into this business, being self-motivated is certainly a critical component. And if you're not going to be able to get up each morning and do the work that's necessary to be successful. Also, you got to have courage in this business. The reason you need courage in this business is because you're going to have to talk to, on a regular basis, just about every day, people that you don't know or you've never met before. So if this is something that scares you, this is probably not an industry that you want to get into. Another attribute you need for success in real estate is a positive self-image. If you don't have a positive self-image, you're not going to have the courage to contact people that you don't know or have never met. So you need to ask yourself, have you achieved things in the past? Have you set goals and made commitments and felt good about them? These are items that are key to a good self-image. If you haven't actually been able to get a result in life in certain aspects, then trust me, real estate is not the answer. Instead, what it'll actually do is expose that. So again, a positive self-image is critical. Also, you've got to be able to care about others. This is not a business that's merely about collecting a commission check. It's not about the money. If you genuinely care about others and sincerely have their best interests in mind, then the money will come. And this is an extremely important concept also for people to understand. This is an integrity-based business. If you think this is a profession where you can get away with things, then you're very wrong. We are still state regulated as well as self-governed. Not to mention that we're held to account by consumers. So we're under the microscope at all times. And lastly, you must be adaptable to new technology. Today, real estate is all about the internet. It's all about emailing and smartphones and texting. It's about websites and apps and iPads and social media. So if you're not adaptable to new technology, you're going to get frustrated very quickly in the real estate business. Now, you might not know anything about any of that stuff that I just rattled off, but don't worry, we can train you. The key here and what I'm discussing is, are you open to it? And are you willing to be adaptable to that new technology? Okay, let's talk about a typical week for a sales associate. What if I get started in real estate, what can I kind of expect in a given week? Well, first of all, we do a lot of prospecting. We need buyers and we need sellers to work with. So for example, we do things like open houses. We may respond to leads, property inquiries from our websites. We may take calls off our yard signs. We might actually go into neighborhoods and ask homeowners if they're looking to sell. We work with the people that we know, our sphere of influence, and train them to send us business. So there's a number of different ways to prospect. What we do at our company is we train you on these ways, and then you kind of just pick the one that you feel the most comfortable with, or what works best for you. We work with buyers. What happens here is buyers come to us from either maybe sign calls or online inquiries or referrals. There's a database called the Multiple Listing Service that we use to search for all the properties that would then meet the buyer's criteria. And then we have a lockbox key that gives us access to each of these homes. There's the lockbox on the property itself. We show the properties until we find the one that they like, and then help them draft an offer to the seller. We negotiate that, make a deal, and close the sale. So that's working with buyers. We also work with sellers. This is the real productive and profitable part of the business. Basically, if you don't want to work 80 hours a week working in real estate, you primarily want to work with sellers. Listing appointments really shouldn't take more than about an hour. You basically find homeowners that are looking to sell their home. You interview for the job to sell their home. Once you get that job, you put the house on the market, and then split the commission with an agent working with the buyer, and that's working with sellers. Of course, we love to go to closings. When we close the property, this is when the sale actually is officially occurs and when we officially get paid. Also, there's a lot of paperwork that we have to do in real estate. Now, the paperwork's not terribly difficult. Believe it or not, the contracts, the listing agreements, your disclosure forms, they're all pretty much fill in the blank. However, what you fill in those blanks obviously is pretty important. And finally, there's meetings, sales meetings, training sessions, maybe an online webinar or some other educational opportunity that you want to go to and take part in. So there you have it, a productive week for a sales associate. Doing some prospecting, working with buyers, working with sellers, going to a closing, completing and filling out paperwork, attending meetings, and some educational opportunities. Okay, so let's talk about how we get compensated. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through, I guess, what a typical transaction. So let's say there's a house. It's sold for $200,000, and let's say that the listing agent negotiated a 6% listing or commission fee. Commissions are negotiable, so they could be any percentage, but we'll just use 6% here in our example. So again, if the house sells $200,000, 6% total commission is $12,000. Okay, now what happens is there's usually another broker involved, and that agent represents the other broker, the other company, and they're going to get a portion of that commission. So for the example here, we're going to say that they get half of the commission. So that other broker or that other company and their agent would receive $6,000. Now that other broker, that other company compensates their agent, and depending on whatever commission schedule that agent is on, that's how they would get compensated. Your broker gets the remaining $6,000. So again, let's say in our example, we want to keep things simple. You're on a 50-50 split with your company, then you would receive $3,000 of that $6,000. And that's how commissions are paid in real estate. Okay, so let's talk about income potential. What I can tell you in terms of some of the top rookies that I've coached over the last few years in the industry have made as much as $60,000 in their first year in real estate. A few years later, those same agents are now in this making six figures, makes a six-figure income. But again, if these are maybe the top or the exception, what about the average person? Maybe the average skills and intelligence, works 40 hours a week, does the prospecting, does the things that they're paid to do, really should be able to make 40,000 or better in their first year. But again, believe it or not, you get to create your own experience in this industry. It really is. It's up to you. If you believe you're not going to make very much money in your first year, congratulations. You're not going to make very much. If you believe you're going to make a lot and you go for it, you can make a lot, and you probably will. See, whether you think you will or you think you won't, either way you're right. It's entirely up to you. And this is, again, an important concept to grasp when it comes to the real estate industry. Okay, well, let's talk about obtaining your real estate license. In Wisconsin, you're required to complete 72 hours of pre-license class. If it's Minnesota, there's a number of hours of pre-licensing course that's also required. So again, no matter what state that you may be in, there's a pre-licensing course that needs to be completed. Once you've completed that pre-licensing course, you would then be allowed or have your course completion certificate. That's your ticket to take the state exam. Once you pass that state exam, then you would need to affiliate with a broker or a firm to activate your license. So, and for those of you that are interested in getting your license, there's some additional information on our careers site. That's joincbrv.com, and we as a company are able to offer some discounts to you and save you some money in the process of doing so. So I would just encourage you to go there as a resource or contact our office, and we can get you some more information on the programs that we have available. Okay, so you've taken the course, you've passed your tests, and you're evaluating companies. So let's talk about what a typical broker may offer. And again, you got to keep in mind, you're going to be on a commission split. So what you really need to measure and evaluate with the different firms is what they're going to give you in exchange for the portion of the commission that you don't receive, or in other words, the amount of commission that broker keeps. So first of all, some are going to give you some workspace or a desk to work at. Some may not. Some are going to provide you with the forms and contracts, marketing materials, and things like that. Others may not. They might charge you extra for that. Some may let you use their phones, and some may require you to provide your own or pay for your own phone service. So again, these are things that you need to look at and evaluate when comparing, so that you're comparing apples to apples. Advertising. Is there any company provided advertising? Do they bring in any business into the office besides the work that the agents do? Is there any training? This is a very important one. One of my favorite examples is an agent that went to one of our competitors. And they said, well, don't worry about classroom training. We do everything one-on-one with you. And what they really meant was that the broker is the top producer in the office, and if they have time to train you, they'll sit down one-on-one. But if they don't have time, good luck, you're on your own. And so that's something that you need to be a little conscious of as well. Okay, so let's talk about what we have here at Coldwell Banker River Valley. What can someone expect when they come aboard with us? Well, first of all, the number one reason that people come to our company is our ability to produce results and help create an enduring asset through our use of progressive technology and innovative systems. So this is why many agents choose our company, also why many of the agents that are with our company stay with our company. So here's what we concentrate on when you come to Coldwell Banker River Valley. Number 1, client generation. Number 2, technology and support systems. Number 3, business development. And number 4, education and training. So first, client generation. Our websites have thousands of people visiting them each month, and what most of them do on our website is register or get a username and password, and by doing so, they're able to get information or alerts about homes that come on the market. As they come on the market, they may inquire about property on our website. When they do this, these are leads that are automatically generated through our lead delivery system and would come to you. And the result is, when you first come aboard, you're going to be able to receive these leads and start working with clients right away. Secondly, and probably even more importantly, because this is where you're going to generate a majority of the business, is through the technology that we provide and the support that we provide for you to actually start generating your own leads to work with right away. Okay, speaking of that technology, all of the tools and the things that we provide really are centered around helping you create card-carrying members of your fan club. So things like a contact management training and a system to implement that continual contact with those people. This is really the key to an enduring business. It's business that all of a sudden it's almost on autopilot and starts coming to you. You attract it, and that way you don't even have to prepare for it. But again, remember, it's not people's job to refer business to you. It's your job to train them to refer that business to you. And again, we're going to teach you how to do that through the contact management and a system to implement it. And doing the way in which we do that is through some of the tools that we have to generate and deliver leads, whether it's websites or smartphone apps, or even some of the maybe some of the old school, just a sign call system and how to convert those. But we've got some more advanced methods to do that. Also, we've got a high level of administrative and IT support. So if for some reason some of these tools aren't working, there's a support line available to help you get those corrected, or if you just need some help on how to get something to work properly, our staff is well schooled in these tools and technology, and can help you get them working properly and working for you. And then there's the business development part of it. What we're going to do here, first of all, we're going to help you come up with a marketing plan, a plan to brand yourself in the community. What kind of agent do you want to be? How do you want to be? How do you want to serve your client? How do you want to be perceived in the industry, in the community? We're going to come up with a prospecting plan. So, for example, how many open houses do you want to hold each year or each month? Maybe a newsletter or an e-newsletter that you would send out. Do you want to call on for sale by owner properties, or maybe some expired listings? Are there certain neighborhoods or areas that you want to concentrate on and do business in? We can even help with maybe farming and prospecting through the use of databases and some of the technology tools that we have. And then, these are all components of your overall business plan. The bottom line is, how are you going to generate business? What we want to do is we want to come up with a consistent monthly plan, not just mapping out what are my expenses every month, but more importantly, how am I going to generate that revenue month after month? And by doing so, that way your income is predictable and it's not necessarily just a surprise every month like it is for most agents. Oops. Okay, let's talk about our education offerings. First of all, we have our sales training. Also, I refer to it as our CBRV Sales Academy. This is our new agent training where we go through each and every aspect of the sales process. So, how to work with buyers, teach you how to get listings and work with homeowners who are looking to sell their home. We'll teach you how to prospect and conduct a successful open house. Work on your phone skills and maybe work with for sale by owners, which is a little different approach, or maybe people that have had their property on the market but their listing is now expired. So we're going to go through each and every aspect of real estate sales. We're also going to teach you all the technical stuff. So this is being familiar with the contracts and the forms, listings, offers, how to fill in those blanks, go over best practices, all the kind of technical items that are important when you're in the practice of real estate. Also, we're going to provide coaching. We have group coaching where there's agents are in small groups, maybe 3 to 6 agents in a similar point in their careers, and we meet on a regular basis and again hold each other accountable, share ideas, share some of the challenges that we have and help each other overcome them. There's also personal coaching that's available. Maybe there's some things that the group setting is not the best. We just need some one-on-one help, and those are things that we're going to do. So, basically what we want to do is make sure that you have somebody working right alongside of you, and you don't feel like you're doing it all alone as you venture into this new adventure. In addition, these are just I've gone through and just to describe some of the training and education offerings that we have through our company, but also through Coldwell Banker University. We've got access to the #1 training platform in real estate, in the real estate industry, and is also ranked third in overall and when it comes to any industry by Training Magazine here this past year. So a lot of resources when it comes to education and technology and training to make sure that you're well prepared to go out and interact with the public and come across as confident and competent and a true resource when it comes to information on the real estate industry and real estate sales. Okay, well that's our agenda in terms of the items that I had to cover this evening. So we'll open it up to any questions. And again, if you have any questions, you can just type them in the chat box. Okay, I don't have too many questions. Usually the typical question at this point that I get from a lot of people is, again, what is the first step to get started? Well, really, the first step to get started is to get licensed. You're not able to do any of this as far as the active practice of real estate without being properly licensed. And again, I would just refer you back to our website, joincbrv.com, as far as the programs that we have available discounted programs for you to pursue your license. Or if you have other questions, you can contact our office directly. Okay, well, I must have done a pretty good job of covering everything because I don't have any questions. So we'll wrap things up. And again, if you do have questions that you think of after the fact, feel free to contact me. Here's my email address, ryan@cbrivervalley.com, or you can call our toll-free number. And again, the careers website has a lot of resources available at joincbrv.com. So thanks again, everybody, for joining us, and wish you the best of luck. And if I can be of help, feel free to contact me.